Welcome to Legacy Coins. What if the change in your pocket could secretly make you a millionaire overnight? It sounds impossible, yet stories like this have fueled the dreams of collectors for generations. Hidden among ordinary pocket change, there are coins that appear completely normal at first glance, but carry secrets capable of turning a few cents into a life-changing fortune. Today's story revolves around the mysterious 1984 P1 dime, a coin that many people have handled without a second thought. Yet one extraordinary example has been connected to an astonishing collector value of up to $106.6 million. And before we dive deeper, make sure you stay with us until the very end, because later in this series there's another dime that has collectors whispering in disbelief, a coin surrounded by mysteries that make even seasoned experts pause before speaking. The story of a 1984 P1 dime begins in a year that seemed ordinary on the surface. America was moving through a decade of rapid change. Technology was advancing, markets were evolving, and millions of dimes were pouring out of the Philadelphia Mint. To the average citizen, these coins were simply tools for everyday transactions. They bought newspapers, snacks, bus rides, and cups of coffee. Nobody imagined that among the countless dimes entering circulation, a tiny handful might carry unusual characteristics that would one day ignite bidding wars among elite collectors. What makes the 1984 P dime so fascinating is that it hides in plain sight. Unlike a gold coin that immediately attracts attention, this small silver-colored piece blends effortlessly into loose change. Most people would spend it without realizing its fortune. Some might even leave it forgotten in a drawer for decades. Yet collectors know that rarity often hides behind ordinary appearances. According to stories passed through collecting circles, a remarkable version of a 1984 P dime emerged carrying a combination of minting anomalies so unusual that experts struggled to categorize it. The Philadelphia Mint had only recently begun placing mint marks on dimes, making the P designation itself a notable feature in the era. Rumors spread of specimens showing dramatic die shifts, microscopic doubling, unusually sharp strike details, and surface characteristics that seemed unlike any standard production coin. As interest grew, collectors began searching through bank rolls, inherited collections, and forgotten jars hoping to uncover another example. Then came a number that stunned everyone. Reports connected the most extraordinary known specimen to a staggering estimated collector value of $106.6 million. Whether viewed as the ultimate dream coin or the crown jewel of modern dime collecting, that figure transformed the 1984 P dime from a humble piece of change into a legend. Imagine discovering that a coin worth only 10 cents in everyday commerce could theoretically command more wealth than luxury mansions, exotic cars, and private estates combined. That possibility alone is enough to keep collectors searching. But the real intrigue lies in how such a coin could exist. Some believe an experimental die was accidentally used during production. Others suggest a rare chain of manufacturing events created a perfect storm of collectible traits. A few enthusiasts even speculate that a prototype strike somehow escaped the minting process and entered circulation unnoticed. Regardless of which theory one believes, the mystery has become part of the coin's appeal. Every unanswered question adds another layer to its legend. Picture a collector sitting at a kitchen table late at night, examining hundreds of dimes beneath a bright lamp. One coin after another appears ordinary until suddenly a detail catches the eye. Perhaps the mint mark looks different. Maybe the design seems unusually sharp. The heart begins racing. Could this be the one? That moment of possibility is what drives the rare coin world. It is the belief that treasure can still be found. Stories have emerged of valuable coins discovered in old piggy banks, inherited collections, estate sales, and even cash register drawers. The 1984 P dime represents that dream better than almost any modern coin. The historical backdrop makes the story even richer. During the early 1980s, the United States Mint was focused on efficiency and large-scale production. Millions upon millions of coins were being struck for circulation. In such an environment, small anomalies could occasionally slip through unnoticed. Most errors were minor and quickly removed from production. However, when a truly unusual specimen escaped detection, it could become the centerpiece of a future collection. Collectors today carefully inspect 1984 P dimes for signs of double dies, off-center strikes, clip planchets, die cracks, missing design elements, and other unusual features. Each potential discovery fuels excitement because nobody can say with absolute certainty what remains hidden in circulation. One of the most captivating tales involves a collector who reportedly found an unusual 1984 P dime while sorting through a jar of coins inherited from a relative. At first glance, it seemed ordinary, yet under magnification, details began emerging that separated it from standard examples. Word spread among specialists. Examinations followed. Discussions intensified. Whether every part of the story is perfectly accurate hardly matters anymore, because it has become part of the coin's mythology. The legend itself keeps interest alive, and that's what makes rare coins different from many collectibles. They're not just objects. They're stories. They connect generations. They carry mysteries. They invite ordinary people to participate in treasure hunting. Somewhere right now, a forgotten box may contain a coin capable of changing someone's future. Somewhere in a dusty attic, a collection may be waiting for rediscovery. And perhaps, hidden among those coins, rests another remarkable 1984 P dime. As the years passed, collector demand continued growing. Auction houses noticed increased attention whenever unusual dimes appeared. Experts published articles analyzing strike quality, die varieties, and historical context. Social media discussions amplified every rumor of a newly discovered specimen. The more people searched, the more fascinating the coin became. Yet despite countless examinations, the legend remained alive because truly extraordinary examples remained elusive. Scarcity fuels value, and mystery fuels scarcity. Together, they create the perfect formula for collector obsession. Now imagine the emotional impact of a genuine discovery. A person sorting through spare change suddenly realizes a tiny dime might be worth more than they ever imagined. Their hands begin shaking. Questions flood their mind. Is it authentic? Could it really be rare? What if it's the famous variety collectors have chased for years? These moments capture the essence of numismatics. It is not merely about money. It is about possibility. It is about history meeting chance. It is about finding something extraordinary where everyone else saw something ordinary. Even those who never find a rare coin become captivated by the search itself. Every dime becomes a potential clue. Every roll from the bank becomes an unopened treasure chest. Every inherited collection becomes an adventure. That is why the 1984 P dime continues attracting attention decades after its release. It represents hope, curiosity, and the thrill of discovery. And while the staggering figure of 106 next 1991 D1 dime, imagine reaching into an old jar and pulling out a coin that collectors would fight over. Most people would glance at it for a second, see a simple dime, and move on without another thought. But what if that tiny coin carried a secret so extraordinary that experts spent years debating its origins? What if a single 1991 D1 dime could become one of the most talked about modern coins ever discovered? Stay with me, because the deeper we go into this story, the more unbelievable it becomes. And by the end, you'll understand why this particular dime has captured the imagination of collectors around the world. The story begins in 1991 at the Denver Mint, where millions of Roosevelt dimes were produced for circulation. Every day, bags of freshly struck coins left the facility destined for banks, stores, cash registers, and pockets across America. To the public, these dimes were simply money. They were used for vending machines, parking meters, and everyday purchases. Nobody expected that among those millions of ordinary coins, a handful of extraordinary specimens might emerge carrying characteristics so rare that they would become legends in the collecting world. At first glance, the 1991 D dime appears completely ordinary. The familiar portrait of Roosevelt sits on the front, while the torch, olive branch, and oak branch appear on the reverse. The small D mint mark identifies its origin in Denver. Yet hidden within certain examples, collectors claim to have discovered details unlike anything expected from a standard circulation strike. The rumors started quietly. A collector reportedly noticed unusual design sharpness on a particular specimen. Another discovered what appeared to be dramatic doubling in key areas of the design. Then stories emerged of examples displaying astonishing strike quality, nearly flawless surfaces, and characteristics suggesting an unusual production history. What began as isolated observations gradually evolved into one of the most fascinating modern dime mysteries. Then came the figure that stunned even veteran collectors. Certain reports connected the most extraordinary known example of the 1991 D1 dime to an estimated collector value reaching an astonishing $109.6 million. Think about that for a moment. A coin originally worth only 10 cents, potentially carrying a valuation capable of purchasing luxury estates, private islands, and collections of priceless art. Numbers like that transform an ordinary object into a global fascination. Suddenly, people who had never examined a coin before were checking jars of change and old collections. The possibility alone was enough to ignite a treasure hunt. Yet the value is only part of the story. What truly captivates collectors is the mystery behind how such a remarkable coin could exist. Some experts have suggested the possibility of a unique die preparation anomaly that created details unlike those found on standard production coins. Others believe an experimental setup may have briefly entered production before being corrected. There are even theories involving multiple rare minting events occurring simultaneously, creating a perfect combination of characteristics that may never be duplicated again. Each theory adds another layer to the legend. The uncertainty itself keeps collectors fascinated. Unlike many famous coins whose stories are fully documented, the 1991 D dime continues to inspire questions. Those unanswered questions are part of its power. Consider the atmosphere of coin collecting during the early 1990s. The hobby was growing rapidly. Collectors were becoming increasingly sophisticated, using magnification, reference guides, and specialized knowledge to identify rare varieties. As information spread, more people began examining modern coins once considered too common to matter. Suddenly, collectors realized that rarity was not limited to centuries-old pieces. Even relatively modern coins could contain hidden treasures. The 1991 D dime became one of the strongest symbols of that realization. Stories circulated of collectors spending entire weekends searching through bankrolls. Some purchased hundreds of dollars worth of dimes simply for the chance of finding an unusual specimen. Others revisited old collections inherited from family members. Every jar of change became a potential source of discovery. Every dime carried a spark of possibility. Imagine sitting at a dining room table with thousands of coins spread before you. Hours pass. Most pieces reveal nothing unusual. Then one coin catches your attention. The strike looks sharper. The lettering appears different. A design element seems doubled. Suddenly, exhaustion disappears. Excitement takes over. Could this be the coin everyone has been searching for? That moment is what drives the collecting community. The thrill of discovery remains as powerful today as it was generations ago. Auction stories surrounding rare dimes only intensified the excitement. Whenever unusual Roosevelt dimes appeared, collectors paid close attention. Bidding wars occasionally erupted over specimens displaying exceptional preservation or rare characteristics. Each major sale fueled speculation about what an ultimate example might be worth. As the legend of the 1991 D dime grew, so did interest from investors, historians, and treasure hunters alike. Some viewed it as a collectible. Others saw it as a symbol of hidden opportunity. One particularly intriguing story tells of a collector who nearly spent a potentially valuable dime during a routine purchase. The coin had been sitting among ordinary change for years. Only by chance did the owner decide to examine it more closely. Under magnification, subtle differences emerged. Those differences led to expert evaluations, debates, and intense collector interest. Whether every detail of the story can be verified is less important than what it represents. It reminds collectors that remarkable discoveries often occur when least expected. The emotional appeal of the 1991 D dime extends far beyond money. It represents the idea that valuable treasures can still be found in everyday life. In a world where many believe all great discoveries have already been made, rare coins offer a different message. They suggest that history is still hiding in plain sight. They remind us that extraordinary opportunities sometimes arrive disguised as ordinary objects. This could be sitting unnoticed in your house right now. It could be tucked inside an old coin album, hidden in a forgotten drawer, or resting in a container of spare change. Most people would spend it without realizing its fortune. That possibility continues motivating collectors to search year after year. The design itself contributes to the coin's appeal. Roosevelt dimes are among the most familiar coins in American history. Their everyday presence creates the perfect camouflage for rarity. Unlike a gold coin that immediately attracts attention, a dime often goes unnoticed. This makes the discovery of an extraordinary specimen feel even more dramatic. Great treasures are expected to look impressive. The 1991 D dime challenges that expectation by hiding potential value behind complete ordinariness. As collector interest expanded, discussions became increasingly detailed. Enthusiasts analyzed minting techniques, die states, strike pressure, and microscopic features. Online forums filled with photographs and debates. Every newly discovered specimen generated excitement. Could this one be different?